Hey, and welcome back to the Parkinson's Gym. It's more time for hips. All right, today we're going to be talking about 2 out of the 4 ball and socket joints you have. You most likely have. They are your hips. Very, very important joint. And if you don't know that, try hurting one of them, and then you'll see exactly how much you use that joint. But as I said, it is a ball and socket joint. The only other one is your shoulder. And the hip is very, very complicated. And as I said, very important to everything. Walking, standing, keeping your balance, shifting left to right, salsa. So, you know, this is big. It's an important thing. So what we're going to go through today are all stretching. No, excuse me. We're going to do a little bit of stretching, but they are all strengthening exercises. But I'm not talking heavy. You know, we're not going to do much more than their own leg or maybe one of the rubber bands, and I'll show you that a little bit later. But 2 things you will need. One thing you will need, a chair. The other thing that's good to have is some kind of step, some kind of low step. And let's kick it off straight away. So everybody says, God, you always do the leg swings, man. And it's because I like the leg swings. But especially for hips, let me hang on up here like a bus, is what a little bit of hang does for your hip is pull a little bit on the leg into the hip and just kind of separate that joint slightly so you get a little bit of that synovial fluid pulled down in there and just loosens it up, kind of gives it a little bit of lubrication. That's I always thought that word is nasty. Ugh. But so these leg swings, if you don't have any kind of bench or step or something, it doesn't take much. I mean, you could stand on just a large book. Just give yourself a little bit of lift so that your leg can kind of hang free. And you definitely don't want to whang it on the floor. So loosen up the hip joint with those, and then we want to do some full range motion, and that will gradually increase. And my favorite one is the stepping out of the box. Is you're going to step up and out. So bring your knee up and in and up and out as far as you can. High and back in together, just like you're stepping out of a box. Boop. Step out, bring it in, out. Rotate it as far back behind you as you can. Bring it up as high as you can. Up and out. Up and in. One more. Up, out, up, in. That leads me to a recommendation, a bit of advice. So sticky feet, heavy feet are a very, very common Parkinson's symptom. So a lot of people fall down as they are getting started because, you know, maybe before Parkinson's, when you said, hey, let's go over there, you'd go. But now your feet, you know, are a couple seconds behind. So you say, hey, let's go over there. And you have already shifted your weight, but your feet are like, where? And it ends up this and maybe even a fall. So what I want to recommend is that when you start a direction, instead of shifting your weight and heading that direction first, I want you to shift your foot. Step out, get headed that direction with your feet, and then start moving your center of gravity. Like I said, the other way around, you shift your center of gravity outside from your feet, and your feet go, nah, you're going down. But you're waiting on your feet to make that decision. Up and out, then you're off. Good way to kind of break the freezing too. All right, anyway, back to the exercise. So we did our step outs. We're going to get on the floor. So, sorry, forgot to mention, you might want some kind of mat to get on the floor if you're on a hard surface. So go get that. You can pause and I'll wait. Okay, hey, you're back. All right, here we go. Come on down to the floor, nice and symmetrical and square and controlled. Hands and knees. I want your hands straight underneath your shoulders and your knees directly underneath your hips. We're going to start out with just some easy hip circles. So kick all the way back, bring it all the way around. Very similar to those step outs. You're going to full range of motion all the way, a few times on each hip. If you want to go another direction, there are 2 of those directions. Do that. All right, let's get the other side. Exact same thing. Now, you don't want to push this into pain. You might feel a little stretch. You might feel a little tension, but you definitely don't want to push to pain. Pain hurts. Pain is your body saying, something ain't right. Okay, knock those out on both sides. All right, donkey kicks. One of my favorites. Good square back here. If you want to do cat-cow, that's a good time for that. You got cow and cat. You can pause and cat-cow. But I'm going to do donkey kicks because we're talking about hips. Keep the bend in your knee. Press your heel into the ceiling. Do not arch your back. Just kick and kick. All right, all of these can be done. Keep donkey kicking if you're on the floor. All of these definitely can be done from the back of a chair. Donkey kick, donkey kick, if you're not a fan of getting on the floor. So keep kicking. Get over to your other leg. Donkey kick on that side too. Now, I like the knee high, I like to keep the knee bent because it allows a little bit more movement through the hip. If you straighten your leg and you go straight back, it kind of limits it to that just straight down 90 degrees. When bent, you can get a little bit past that. But again, don't flail your back. All right, what's next? Fire hydrants. Just like a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. Now, this is going to work. So that donkey kick was your gluteus maximus, the largest muscle in your body. This, the fire hydrants, are the gluteus minimus and medius. They come out and hook onto this greater trochanter, which has nothing to do with brass instruments, and rotate your leg this outboard direction. So, straight out to your side. You're not doing this. Keep your hips level. Kick out to the side. You may not be able to go very far. That's okay. Keep working it. Straight out to the side. Your buns are going to be burning. Straight out. About at least 10 of these. More if you can. Oh my gosh. I think my biscuits are burning. All right, there they go. I'm always amazed at the number of words we have for just butt. I won't get, you know. All right, here we go. Bird dog, one of my favorites. Again, this can be done from the back of the seat, but hands straight down, knees straight down. Kick your left leg straight back, okay? Fully extend the knee. Turn around and look at your knee. Yep, fully extended. Flex your foot. Left leg, get nice and stable. Right arm. Opposite arm, not the same. Hold it out there, and we're going to hold this. This is not a beep, beep, beep. This is not a rep thing. This is a stationary thing. It's pretty much every muscle in the back half of your body. And relax. Let's kick back the other leg, which would be the right. Hold up the left arm. Now, if you're really wobbly, just get the leg square, and then go for the arm. Try to make as big of a hand as you can on the floor. That'll give you a larger base. No pun intended. All right, good. Okay, so this one is a wee more difficult. It's a kick and plank. All right, if you can't plank on the floor, get somewhere where you can plank. We'll work you towards getting on the floor. No worries. All right, what you're going to do is planking. You do need to be able to do a good, solid, flat plank to your toes. So none of this knee stuff is just not going to work. Just keep your legs straight and kick a heel straight up behind you. You're not doing this. Knees have nothing to do with this. You're trying to get your glutes strong. This is good for the front hip muscles, such as hip flexor and some of the quad stuff. Kick, definitely abs, but you can feel your gluteus maximus kicking in. And your hamstrings. Hamstrings go from kind of that pointy part of your butt to down and below your knee. That's all part of the glutes too, kind of, part of your hip. All right, kick and plank. Okay, I usually do not like this exercise because it's abused and done poorly. And when done poorly is terrible, but it's the Superman. Okay, so you are face down, flat on the floor. All right. And just like Superman, you're wishing you hadn't eaten so much for dinner. All right, here we go. Just like Superman, you're going to lift your legs off the floor and your arms off the floor. But you are not going to arch your back. Okay, if both of those is too difficult, just go for the legs. Just try to hold your legs straight up, directly down, off the floor, point your toes. If that's good, maybe relax your legs, get into the arms. Arms aren't as important for glute work, but they are good for the entire back half of your body. So you hold and flex, and hold and flex. Those supermans, I don't know. Okay, do not arch those up all crazy like you're trying to get your legs and your hands as far off the floor as possible. That's not good. All right, flip over on your back. Flat on your back, feet flat on the floor, anchor your shoulders into the ground. Now you're going to do bridges. You're going to press your heels down and kick your hips up and pivot from your shoulders. Not this, okay? You're not doing kind of weird looking crunches. You keep from your hips to your shoulders perfectly rigid, and you hinge at your hips and press them up. This is a wrestling move, except we were so stupid enough that we pressed up onto the back of our head. And I'm amazed we didn't do more damage than we did. So keep pressing. An advanced version of the bridge is the kicking or the one-legged bridge. Here's the kick and bridge. Press and kick and down. Press and kick the other leg. Basically makes one glute do all the work. Or you can do one-legged bridges. Just hold the leg out, let it take a nap, and then switch over. You'll feel your hamstrings. You'll feel your glutes. Oh, that's good. All right. Let's see. I think that's it for the back. Scissor kicks. Scissor kicks are arguably part of the hips. So again, anchor yourself. Your hips are anchored. Your shoulders are anchored. And you're going to do stiff-legged kicks, nice and smooth. You're not looking for speed. You're just looking for good, perfect, steady movement right through the hips. Kick, relax, kick, relax. Keep your legs straight, even if you're not getting them up very high. I don't want you doing this. Okay, that's just not doing you a whole lot of good. Okay, now let's do that, because we're going to do it now. Knees tight into your chest, then extend. Knees up, extend. Knees up, extend. See, the scissors got a little bit of hamstring pull and definitely involved your hip flexors more. These knee tucks get a little bit more range in your hips, but take the hamstrings out of the equation. So everything has its own useful stuff. A little note has really nothing to do with hips. You'll see people doing cycles. They grab the back of their head. Don't grab the back of your head. We don't want our head to go any further into our chest than it already is. Really, nobody does. So when you do cycles, leave your head out of it. You can just hold your shoulders up. Bam, bam, bam. All right. Little note, non-gluteus note. Okay, we are on our back. Roll over to one side. You're going to love these. Really, really, you're going to love them. All right, let's start flat on your side. You can get a pillow. Do your sexy pose. All right. And feet are parallel, legs are straight, hips are straight, knees are straight, everything's straight. Raise it up. Keep your feet parallel to each other and make sure that leg is going straight up the plane of the side of your body. And down. Wow, here comes the rain. You can do the arm in it if you're feeling it. You know, you can do little flies. That's kind of fun. Flies. Doesn't hurt anything. Okay, another version. Clamshells. All right, these are a little different. You sort of get your knees into a fetal position, about 90 degrees, but you leave your heels together and you crank open like this. It's slightly deeper into your hips. Okay, grr, ear. You can feel a lot happening down deep in there because there's a lot going on. Open and close. All right, do a little break dancing. Flip over. I miss the 80s. Not really. All right, here we go. On to our side. Feet are parallel and flexed with a side leg raise. And again, you want these light enough that you can do 10 or 12 of them because we're looking to strengthen and stabilize that hip. You're not developing these for like some bodybuilding pageant. You're getting them nice and stable and strong around your hip. Now, if you're able to do like 15 to 20 of these pretty easily, these side raises, all right, you do go ahead to the clam break. You do your clams. I'm going to show you something. So heels together, knees bent about 90, and you pull your knees apart. You can get these. These are resistance bands, but they're loops. Isn't that devious? So what you can do, they're from Let's Fit. I found them on Amazon. They're not really that exciting, but what you can do is put them around your legs, around your knees, actually above your knees. Make sure you're putting them above your knees. Don't put them below because they can put tension on your medial knee ligaments. So if just moving your own body weight wasn't enough, you can get some of these bands and add a little to them. But this is not something you're trying to lift as much weight as possible. You're trying to do lots of these. You're just trying to develop strength and stability and tone in those muscles. You're not trying to bulk up your hips. Nobody wants bulky hips. All right, bridges and scissor kicks. We have done side leg raises and clamshells. All right, come on back up. Let's go. Okay, good and square. Come to half kneeling. Okay, first you come to this quadruped. Then you come to kneeling, half kneeling, then press up. None of this crazy twisty breakdance stand-up mess. I'm watching. All right, standing. You might want to stand near your chair or some kind of balancing device. Lateral side kicks. Feet stay parallel. And that leg just goes out to its side, kind of like it has a mind of its own. So a little Dr. Strange glove, but in the leg. Feet parallel. You're not doing this. Toe doesn't go out to the side. We want to stay down that iliotibial tract, the IT band, that can give people such issues. There's a little muscle hooked to there that's part of your hips called the TFL, the tensor fascia latae. It's a fun one to mess with the kids at Starbucks too. So I'll have a grande tensor fascia latae, and they say, do what? All right, straight out to your side again, other side. This is another one. If you're like, this is stupid easy, get those bands on there. It won't be easy. All right. So, getting pretty hippie. Lateral stepping. Again, feet stay parallel. You get into an athletic crouch, and you're gonna open, closed. Don't cross your feet. Negatory, never cross your feet. Even when you're sitting, not good for your back. Then stand up and kind of do these normally. Wide, closed, wide, closed, wide, closed. I just remembered something else. Wide, closed, wide, closed, wide, closed. Okay, here is something else you can do on your side for your adductors. Your abductors go out, your adductors come in. They add to your center line, so they're adductors. On your side, you can adduct that lower leg. So I'm on my right side. This will be my right leg. You can raise that right leg. Get the left one out of the way. It's very similar to your sexy pose. Now you're going to raise that lower leg. Now this is kind of unusual that people will do this. It's definitely a kind of a therapeutic exercise. You never want to do just one side of adducting. Just a superstition we have here. It's a little different. You probably only see this in a therapeutic environment or somebody who's having hip issues, but if you do them, you can avoid those therapeutic environments. So I'm all for it. All right, so that's adducting. And it's just as good as abducting. All right, whatever it is, ducting. And if your abducting or your adducting breaks, you can use duct tape. Okay. All right, straight back squats. You're going to get to sit down. But, get it? Your back from your hips to your shoulders does not get to change shape. That means you can't go, huh. I want you to chop hinge at the hips. It's like you're wearing a cast on your upper body. Hinge forward, stand up. See? Here's it doing poorly. Poorly. See how my back just, that's pretty normal. Or crooked, not good. Or hanging on and pushing yourself up. I mean, your legs are hardly doing anything because your arms are doing most of the work. Well, I want you to work towards being able to, if you can't already, out and up. That's all in the glutes, man, okay? Your back is just maintaining stability. The glutes are doing the job. Out, up, all the way up, hips through, down, back, out, up. Yeah, it should feel a little robotic. That's the point. Out, up, down, back. Huh? That's the ticket. Air squat wise, if you don't have a chair or you want to work towards not needing a chair, hip hinge, the exact same thing. Act like the chair is back there. Just because the chair's not there doesn't mean you're going to do this kind of squat. That's nuts. Feet flat, make your glutes do the work. Huh. Here to tell you, man, that's why so many Americans have back problems, is they use their back instead of their butt. Which, I'm sure there's a joke in there. Use your legs instead of your back, or you're going to end up looking like a butt. I don't know, something like that. Okay. Now you need that step of some sort. I found this one, of course, on Amazon, because there's everything on Amazon, and I needed it during the recent plague. It's the Zen Sport Step. It has served me well. So, stepping up evenly onto a step is harder than you might think, because a vast majority of people put a foot up there and then their bottom leg throws them up and their upper leg hardly does anything. I apologize if I disappear off the screen. What I want you to focus on, driving the heel of that upper leg, you're squared on your knees, press and raise, and then switch feet, let it down. Extraordinarily controlled. So you look like one of those Boston Scientific robots. Foot up, press, and down. Now that could be tough on the knees. Take it easy, make good judgment. The higher you go, the longer your glute is to get started, so it works your glutes harder, but that may not be something you really need to do. How often do you need to step on a step that's that high? It's just not very practical. An option to the step up is a side step. Here's another one. Just press and then press. Try not to use your calf of the bottom leg. Keep your toe off the ground as you press up and let it down. Now I give it a lot of quads in there. Up and down. Up. As soon as you take your toes out of the equation there, you realize how much your calves do when you go up steps. Or wear one of those silly looking boots up the step. Then, your calf does a lot of this. Make your glutes and quads do the job. All right, another side step up you can do is it's a little further away, so you do have to step out to it. You get that lateral greater trochanter moving. Out and up, down and back, out and up, down and back. Okay, bunch of those, both sides. I got to do a few, or I'll go to physical, go to PT hell. All right, Russian step-ups. This is contentious in the current political environment, but I'm going to risk my KGB assault in here. So Russian step up means that you step and you kick through, down and down. So in that case, my left leg never even touched the step, down, down. Gives it a good little bunch of travel. Down, all the way up. You're not doing this. Okay, you're up like mine. Switch. Do like a Russian. All right, there's a bunch of those. Do this stuff. Keep going while you're doing it. If you want to make this a workout while I'm talking here, this stuff will work your glutes. I guarantee it. Do a little bit every day. Find a new exercise, do it every day. All right, let's stretch these things out. So, hams, glutes, calves, iliotibial tract, all that stuff needs to be stretched out. Let's start with something that's often forgotten is your hip flexor. Take a big step forward and that back leg stays straight. And you can even keep your front leg straight. We're focusing on the back leg anyway. And you stand nice and tall and get a big stretch. Toe is forward. Don't plant your toe out here. Toe is forward. Up and tall. You'll feel it up into your abs too. And another side, okay? Step forward. You can even get a little, if you can do a good lunge, oh, that makes it better. Get a little calf stretch there too. Oh, that's nice. All right, hip flexor, good stuff. Have a seat on your chair. I'm going to show you a couple of ways to stretch your glutes. They're good ones and they need it. They need some sweet attention. Okay, ankle to knee, one of my favorites. Level your shin. In every leg stretch, I want you to think about moving your hip towards your thigh, not your face towards your shin, because that's just stretching your back. Rotate your hip, like right at your belt line, and try to rotate it into your thigh, and oh, you'll feel it. So that external rotation rotates that greater trochanter, which is the bony part at the top of your femur. Rotate that out, and you get a good glute stretch. Where your chest and shoulders go in that stretch is just a byproduct of your hips moving. It has nothing to do. If you can bite your own shin, you still may not be stretching your glutes. Roll your hip forward. Switch, by the way. Roll your hip forward. Pull your foot up. Push your knee down. Get that internal rotation. This is a good piriformis stretch too. That's a little stinker muscle there on your glutes. And it can do a number on you. All right, that's my favorite. Another option for glute stretching is on your back, on the floor, doing exactly the same thing. Cross ankle to knee, and then you're going to reach up and pull maybe just your foot, maybe your foot and the other thigh. And relax your shoulders. Or you're going to reach all the way through and grab your shin and then relax. It's doing the exact same thing as you were sitting in your chair. It's just relaxing your back. Might be a good one if your back is not happy with you. And the most advanced is pigeon from yoga. Come to a plank, kick the knee up and through your hands, and then gradually sit down. Oi! And they think this looks like a pigeon. I think maybe the yoga people need to get out of the studio every once in a while if they think this looks like a pigeon. But, I mean, kinda, but not really. All right, that's some glute stretching for you. Let's stretch out those hamstrings. Back to the chair. heel out. Relax the leg. And again, rotate your hip towards your thigh. Not your face towards your shin. Your hip towards your thigh. So that pointy, bony part of your butt goes aft, goes backwards, and pulls your hamstrings tight. Oh, my doggies. All right, roll that back up. Switch the leg. Hip, belt line to your thigh. I got to come up with a snappy little rhyme. Thighs to flies, but no, I don't know. Something to loins, who knows. Roll the hip. Oh, whoa, 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 that's tight. Gersh. Okay. IT band, the iliotibial tract, can wreak havoc on knees, hips, and backs. It hooks up at your tibia, below your knee, goes all the way up the side of your leg and grabs hold of the crest of your hip, which is your iliacus. That sounds like a mountain-dwelling horse-type animal. But it has that little muscle onto it, so it needs some stretching too. A common one is the knee-to-knee, the secretary stretch. Now, I know I told you never cross your knees. This is maybe the one good time. But grab that knee, and it's a slight pull towards you. You'll feel your glute. So you're rotating just a little bit into it, but you're mainly pulling that leg in. Nah, that didn't do much for me, but some people are like, oh, yeah. Other side, they call it somehow called the secretary stretch, because this is like the secretary sit, and you turn. Yeah, I'm not getting much out of that, but it's a good twist. My favorite is the standing IT stretch. One arm up, kick your hip out, and you can really feel it. Oh yeah. Some people will grab like a part of something here and really kick their hip out and sort of pull on it. That might be a little accelerated, a little much for some, but it's definitely a good stretch. Arm up, kick that hip out. It's kind of like the Fosbury flop. You sort of want to push your center of gravity outside of your body. Fosbury flop, come on. Go look that up. Oh, yeah. All right, calves. If you have something like these fold-up chairs, put the whole foot, and nothing but the foot, your foot, up on the leg of the chair here, and then lean yourself in. I want you to be able to relax your foot. A lot of people will, put the ball of their foot on a chair, or not a chair, on a step, on a curb, and that's fine. But it can be a little bit stressful to the bottom of your foot, especially if you've ever experienced tendonitis or plantar fasciitis. Yowza. So it's a good calf stretch if you aren't worried about any kind of stress down your foot. So I recommend what I have. Love this thing. It's got a board. It's just a board leaned up against a dumbbell or anything, and it lets your leg relax, lets your foot relax while you lean into it. Easy little contraption. You can see it back there. I'll maybe take a picture of it if I remember. Okay, what else? Good mornings. I know it's a strange name, but you'll see. It's that straight, rigid hips to shoulders. Your legs stay straight, and you hinge over almost like you're bowing, except push your butt back. And you can let your arms just hang loose, kind of like a weird doll. And you'll feel, as your hips rotate back and those bony parts stick out the back, you'll feel your hamstrings go, hey, what the hell? Oh, yeah. That is like a very, very pure, so your back stays perfectly straight. Good for back stability as well as hamstring stretch. All right, I'm going to show you a couple of these on the floor. They're debatable for, I don't know, some people. I like them, but I don't have a lot of problems. Oh, no, that was a bad sit down. I'll edit that out later. Come to half kneeling, and then come to full kneeling, and then sit down. Flip over onto your back, and one leg up. That's a good hamstring stretch too. Roll the ankle around while you're there. I prefer bending the knee and then draping it over the opposite side. So this is my left leg. I'm going to drape it over the right side. It's a pretty good twist through the back, but it does get the glutes deep in there. Yeah, so if you have any back concerns, this may not be a good one. Let's get the other one. Knee up. Drape it over. Yeah, these are not worth risking your back. They're okay, you know, but I don't think they're going to change any lives. A good one is just pull your knee as tight as you can try to go all the way into your armpit. That'll do it. Let me know if you can put your knee in your armpit. Pull it tight in and pull it tight in. Oh, that's a good one. All right. So that's a lot of work for you. It's a lot of work on the hips and the glutes, and you don't need nothing special. If you want to add to them, you can go buy these bands, Let's Fit bands. They come in multiple gradients. So that's it. Good luck with your hips. Work them out. Be nice to your hips. You need them. And we'll see you here next time.